XP is the next important step in the evolution of the Windows operating system, as it marks the convergence of the business Windows NT and 2000 and consumer operating systems Windows 95, 98 and ME. Performance and reliability of the Windows NT platform continue to be improved in Windows XP. Major additions of interest to end users include exciting new visual changes: Internet Explorer 6.0, Uninstall, Dynamic Update, System Restore, Windows Product Activation, Windows Media Player 8, and Games. Before you install Windows XP Personal, make sure your computer meets the following minimum hardware requirements: 233 MHz Pentium or higher microprocessor or equivalent. 64 MB of RAM, 128 MB are recommended. 650 MB of free space on a 2 GB hard disk. VGA monitor. Keyboard. Mouse or compatible pointing device. CD-ROM or DVD-ROM drive. If you have a computer administrator account, you may create, delete, or change the features of the computer's local accounts. Open the control panel and pick the category User Accounts. To assign a name and an account type to a new account, select Create a New Account. To delete an account, click on its icon and select Delete the account. To change an account, click on its icon and make the modifications. After logging on to the system, a clear screen is displayed. This is called the Windows desktop. In the lower part of the desktop, the taskbar shows which applications are in memory. The taskbar also gives access to the Start button, which, as you'll see later, plays a key role in Windows XP. In the far right section of the taskbar, you'll find the speaker icon and the current time. Click the speaker icon to set the sound volume of the speakers, and double-click to get to the volume control dialog box, in which you can modify the balance and the volume of various sound sources. If you point to the computer's time and hold the pointer in the same position for a second, you'll be shown the date in a pop-up window. Double-click the time to display a dialog box in which you can adjust the date, the time, or the time zone. On the right part of the desktop is the recycle bin, through which the files, folders, and shortcuts you no longer need will pass before they're deleted for good. To remove shortcuts that you don't use from your desktop, you can use the Desktop Cleanup Wizard. Right-click any unused part of the desktop and select Properties. On the Desktop tab, click the Customize Desktop button, then the Clean Desktop Now button. Select the checkbox of each shortcut you want to move to the unused desktop shortcut folder. Click the Next button, then the Finish button. The shortcuts selected disappear from the desktop. Note that by default, the wizard automatically runs every 60 days, unless you clear the Run Desktop Cleanup Wizard every 60 days checkbox. Several techniques can be used to start an application. The easiest one is to use the Start button in the taskbar. For example, click the Start button, then All Programs, Accessories, and WordPad to start the mini word processor that comes with Windows XP. It isn't necessary to hold down the left mouse button while you move the mouse in order to get to menu entries. Another way to start an application is to find its icon using My Computer. This will be explained in a later section. Note: when many document and program windows are open, taskbar grouping creates more available space on the taskbar. For example, if you have 5 windows open and 3 of them are WordPad documents, the 3 WordPad document taskbar buttons will group together into one button named WordPad. Click this button and then click one of the documents to view it. In Windows XP, several applications can be run simultaneously. Their names appear in the taskbar, which is found in the lower part of the screen. To switch to an application other than the one currently displayed, just click its name in the taskbar. You can also use the keyboard shortcut Alt plus Tab, as you did in the previous versions of Windows. the applications in memory appear in a little window. Keeping the Alt key down, press Tab several times to get to the required application, then release both keys. To go back to the application that was previously displayed, hold down the Alt key and press the Escape key. To open My Computer, click Start and then My Computer. A window called My Computer opens up. The icons it displays can be split into 3 groups. The files stored on this computer folders. Each folder contains a user's documents. The hard disk drives and devices with removable storage icons. These show the different storage devices in your computer. Double-click one of these icons and you'll see the folders and files the chosen device contains. The links. These are displayed on the left. They help you to accomplish the system tasks, to reach essential folders, and display some information on the selected element. If your computer is attached to a local network, you can view the shared resources of the other computers on the network by selecting the My Network Places option on the Start menu. Double-click the icons of the My Network Places folder to see the files and folders they contain as if they were a local drive. It's also possible to do copies to and from Windows Explorer or My Computer. Use the right mouse button as you would normally in Windows Explorer or My Computer. To get easier access to some shared resources, you can create shortcuts on the desktop. Hold the right mouse button down and drag your chosen folder to the location where you want to create a shortcut. Select Create Shortcut here when you release the mouse button. Here, for example, we set up a shortcut to the C drive of the LIO computer. Each time you delete a file, folder or shortcut, it is placed in the recycle bin and stored there until you decide to empty it or until the recycle bin becomes full. This means you can hopefully retrieve something if you delete it by mistake. To empty the bin, right-click the recycle bin icon and select Empty Recycle Bin. To partially empty the bin, double-click its icon to open it. Hold down the Control key and select the individual items to delete, and then press the Delete key on the keyboard. The maximum size of the recycle bin is by default 10% of the size of each of your local disks. To change this parameter, right-click the recycle bin icon and select Properties. In this example, the computer has several hard disks. The maximum size of the bin can be adjusted globally or customized for each disk. There is also a checkbox to click on if you wish to dispose of files immediately. Be careful, when this checkbox is selected, deleted files are not moved to the recycle bin before disposal. Each deletion is instantly permanent and final. It saves disk space, but doesn't allow you to make mistakes. It's also possible to permanently delete files, for example if you're certain you want to delete them or if they're confidential, even when the Do Not Move Files to the Recycle Bin checkbox is not selected. To do this, hold down the Shift key whilst you delete the files. The My Documents folder is an ideal place to store the documents you create. This folder is reached directly from the Start menu. It also gives access to the following folders: My Pictures and My Music, in which each user can store their pictures and music. In the following sections, you'll see that it's also one of the default destinations for the Sent To command. In just 2 mouse clicks, you can copy a file or a folder into the My Documents folder. When you click the Start button, a 2-column Start menu appears. This menu uses a task-oriented design to make the Start menu easier to use. At the very top of the Start menu, you'll find the name used to log on to the system. Moving down to the top left-hand column, you'll see the default email and browser applications. In the middle of the left-hand column appears the last 5 programs used. Finally, in the bottom section of the left-hand column, the submenu All Programs gives access to all the programs installed. At the top of the right-hand column, you'll see the 3 folders in which you commonly store your documents, pictures and music, as well as My Computer, which gives access to the hard disk drives, the devices with removable storage, and the shared documents. Control Panel provides options to customize the appearance and functionality of your computer, to add or remove programs, and to set up network connections and user accounts. Connect to connect to other computers, networks, and the Internet. Help and Support opens a location for help topics, tutorials, troubleshooting, and other support services. Search gives access to the Search Companion. Finally, Run is used to open a program, file, or Internet resource. The windows in Windows XP always consist of a system box that gives access to the usual commands for restoring, moving, sizing, minimizing, maximizing, and closing, a minimize button, a maximize button, a close button. Most applications have a menu bar, one or more toolbars, one or more scroll bars, and a status bar. The menu system gives access to commands specific to each application. You'll find in most applications a file menu to load, save, and print a document, and the help menu to get to the application's help system. Toolbars contain icons which give access to the most common commands. When the pointer is left over an icon for a second, a tooltip might appear, as well as some help text in the status bar to explain the function. The scroll bars move the view window within the document. Finally, the status bar is typically used to display various messages and to show the status of the special keys. In the section Switching Between Applications, you've learnt to use the taskbar and the keyboard shortcut Alt+Tab to switch between the applications loaded in memory. There is a third technique we've not yet talked about. It consists of assigning a particular keyboard shortcut to an application. To load an application, or to bring it to the foreground if it's already loaded, just type this keyboard shortcut, regardless of the current active application. In this demonstration, we're going to assign the shortcut Shift + Alt + W to WordPad. Right-click the Start button, and then choose Open All Users. Double-click Programs, then Accessories, and then notice that WordPad is now accessible. We're now going to modify its properties. To do this, right-click its icon and choose Properties in the menu that appears. Under the Shortcut tab, click in the Shortcut Key text box, and then press simultaneously Shift, Alt, and W. Click the OK button and the shortcut is recorded. Now you can type Shift + Alt + W to load or switch to WordPad. You can create shortcuts on the Windows desktop for your commonly used items. You can, for example, set up a shortcut for a printer, a hard disk, a folder, or a file. To do this, click on and drag the item from Windows Explorer or from My Computer and drop it onto the desktop. Here, for example, we create a shortcut to a shared disk. Double-click this icon to display the list of the folders and files it's made of. In this next example, by creating a shortcut to one of the installed printers, it's possible to start printing by simply dragging and dropping on the desktop. Finally, one last example. Create a shortcut to a document you use regularly, and one double click will load the document in the application in which it was created. To run an application as soon as you start Windows, right-click the Start button and then choose Properties. On the Start menu tab, select Classic Start menu and then click Customize. Click the Add button and then Browse to select the application to run. Here we select the shareware application Windows Commander. Click the Next button and then select the Startup folder. Click the Next button once and name the shortcut. Finally, click the Finish button and then the OK button. Select Start menu and close the dialog box by clicking OK. Windows Commander is now loaded each time you start a new Windows session. In the previous section, you learnt how to install a shortcut in the Startup folder in order to run an application automatically each time you start Windows. Suppose that now you wish to remove the automatic startup of an application. Right-click the Start button and then choose Properties. On the Start menu tab, select Classic Start menu and then click Customize. Press the Remove button. Now you just need to designate the application you wish to remove and press the Remove button. In this example, Windows Commander will now not be started automatically in future Windows sessions. Select Start menu and close the dialog box by clicking OK. The easiest way to automatically load a file when you start an application is to create a shortcut to this file. Double-click the Shortcuts icon. Windows will find the application used to create this file and will load it automatically. This technique can obviously be used to place shortcuts to files in the Startup folder. Fast user switching lets everyone use a single computer as if it were their own. With it, you can quickly switch to another user account without having to close any program. When the other user is finished, you can switch to your own account. To turn fast user switching on, open the control panel, pick the category User Accounts, click Change the way users log on or off, and, if necessary, select Use Fast User Switching. Now you can switch to another user. Click the Start button, select Log Off, Switch User, and then choose the user you want to switch to in the Welcome screen. Windows XP makes searching easier by grouping search-related tasks into a search companion. To access the search companion, click the Start button, select Search, and follow the wizard-like process to define your search criteria. Here, for example, we search for a document with a name that contains the letters TXT. To minimize all the open windows in one single operation, just click the Show Desktop button in the Quick Launch toolbar. Click this button once again to display the windows as they were before the previous click. If this toolbar isn't displayed, right-click any unused part of the taskbar and select Toolbars Quick Launch in the menu that appears. In dialog boxes, you might be able to get help on an option. Click the Help button, showing a question mark, in the top right corner of the window, and then click the desired element. A box explaining what that element does is displayed near the pointer. Click once to hide it. Another way to get the same information is to right-click the desired element and to select What's this? The Start menu contains shortcuts to the programs you use most often. Just click the Start menu and select the program you want to run. If necessary, you can modify the number of programs in the list. Right-click the Start button and select Properties. Click the Customize button and specify the maximum number of programs to display on the Start menu. To clear the list of most frequently used programs, just click the Clear List button. By default, the Start menu doesn't show the last documents you've opened. To reach the last documents through the Start menu, right-click the Start button and select Properties. On the Start menu tab, click Start menu and then click Customize. On the Advanced tab, select the List My Most Recently Opened Documents checkbox. Now you can reach the My Recent Documents folder through the Start menu. You would use the Documents menu from the Start button in the taskbar to reach the last 15 documents opened in Windows. Sometimes you may want to clear the Documents menu. To do this, right-click the Start button and select Properties. On the Start menu tab, click Start menu and then click Customize. On the Advanced tab, click the Clear List button. The list in the Documents folder has now been cleared. In Windows XP, you can display several toolbars to make starting applications easier. To display a preset toolbar, right-click any unused part of the taskbar and then select one of the commands under the Toolbars option. The Address option enables you to quickly display the contents of a folder or of a web page. The Links option gives access to several web pages preset by Windows that will help you with your first steps on the web. The desktop option gives access to the shortcuts dropped on the desktop. Finally, the Quick Launch option adds 3 icons in the left part of the toolbar in order to get to the desktop, Internet Explorer and Outlook Express. If the 5 default toolbars don't cover what you want, then it's very simple to create new ones. Right-click any unused part of the taskbar and select Toolbars, New Toolbar in the menu that appears. Now select a folder or file and click on the OK button. A corresponding icon is now shown in the taskbar. Just click on it to open your folder or file. Most Windows applications can print the documents they manipulate with the Print command in the File menu. If the document to print isn't open, right-click on its icon and select Print. During printing, an icon showing a printer appears near the clock in the taskbar. This icon disappears when the data transfer between the computer and the printer is finished. Double-click the icon to display the Print Manager. This shows printing progress and lists the files waiting to be printed. If necessary, you can change the order of the documents in the waiting list, the print queue. You can also stop or cancel printing from here. It's sometimes necessary to place documents in the print queue when the printer isn't connected. Printing is automatically postponed until the printer becomes available. If you want to postpone printing for any reason, you must specify that printing must not take place immediately. To do this, click Start, select Control Panel, pick the category Printers and Other Hardware, and click View Installed Printers or Fax Printers. Select the icon for the required printer and click Pause Printing. Your printing will now be held in the print queue. When you want to resume printing, or when the printer becomes available again, double-click the printer icon in the system tray and select the Pause Printing command in the printer menu. Printing will then be resumed. Some companies have a web printer available to their partners or to their customers. To send your print work to these distant peripherals, you must install a specific printer driver. Open the control panel and pick the category Printers and Other Hardware. Click the Add a Printer link, and the Add Printer wizard will appear. Choose a network printer or a printer attached to another computer. Select Connect to a printer on the Internet or on a home or office network, and type its web address. The right mouse button can be used nearly everywhere in Windows. It displays a context-sensitive menu in which the most frequently used commands relating to what you're doing are listed. For example, in Windows Explorer you can right-click a file or a folder to open it, to copy it, to create a shortcut, or to display its properties. As another example, in the taskbar, if you right-click the speaker icon, you can open volume controls or adjust audio properties. One last example. If you right-click any unused area of the desktop, you can arrange or line up the icons, refresh the desktop, create a new icon, or view the desktop's properties. Select the Properties option to choose a theme, the desktop background, a screensaver, the desktop appearance, and amend the display settings. There are endless examples using the right mouse button. Just try it and see how useful it can be. The control panel is available from the Start menu. It gives access to numerous settings and utilities that will be described in other sections. When you first open Control Panel, you'll see the most commonly used control panel items organized by category. To open one of these categories, just click on it. If you don't see the item you want, switch to Classic View. To open one of the items, double-click its icon. Windows XP comes with several desktop themes. If you activate one of them, you can change in one operation your screensaver, mouse pointers, desktop wallpaper and icons, font styles and sound events. The changes are specific to the current user. They do not interact in any way with the other users' desktops. To activate a desktop theme, right-click any unused area of the desktop and choose Properties in the menu that appears. The the Themes tab is selected by default. Choose a theme in the Theme drop-down list and press the OK button to confirm. Note that Themes determines the default appearance of your menus, fonts, icons, and other window elements. However, you can use the Appearance tab in the Display Properties dialog box to change the look of Windows elements. It's very easy to change the desktop wallpaper. The changes are specific to the current user and they don't interact in any way with the other users' desktops. Right-click any unused area of the desktop and choose Properties in the menu that appears. Select the Desktop tab. From the Background box, you can select an HTML document or a picture as the background to use for Windows. Use the preview in the top part of the dialog box to help you choose. If necessary, you can press the Browse button to choose a file in any folder on your system. If you select a background picture, choose a display mode from the Position drop-down list, Center, Tile or Stretch. Click the OK button to confirm your choice. When the same picture is displayed for a long period of time, it's possible that it will burn an image of itself onto your screen. To avoid this, it's recommended you use a screensaver that starts automatically if your computer is idle for a specified amount of time. Windows XP comes with several screensavers. To install one of them, right-click any unused area of the desktop and choose Properties. Click the Screensaver tab. Choose a screensaver from the Screensaver drop-down list. Specify in the Wait box how much time will elapse before Windows displays the screensaver. If need be, press the Settings button to change settings for your screensaver. If necessary, you can tick the On Resume Display Welcome Screen checkbox if Fast User Switching is active, or On Resume Password Protect when Fast User Switching is not active. If logging on requires a password, you'll have to type the password when you resume work. To change the screen area settings, the number of colours, or the size of the fonts, right-click any unused area of the desktop and select Properties in the menu that appears. Select the Settings tab. You can now change the screen area or the number of colours. If necessary, press the Advance button to choose the font size. Press the OK button. A few seconds later, the new settings are active. Some older games and programs that were written specifically for an earlier version of Windows may not run properly on Windows XP. To continue to use them, you must set their compatibility properties. Right-click the program icon on your desktop or the shortcut on the Start menu for the program you want to run, and then click Properties. Select the Compatibility tab and change the compatibility settings for your program. Some games and other software programs require that your monitor is set to 256 colours, or state that they run better in 256 colours. If those programs won't switch your monitor to 256 colours automatically, follow these steps. On your desktop or on the Start menu, right-click the program that you want to run in 256 colours and then click Properties. Select the Compatibility tab. Select the Run in 256 colours checkbox and click the OK button. Note that the screen will revert to your default colour quality when you close the program. To change the refresh frequency of a monitor, right-click any unused area of the desktop and select Properties in the menu that appears. Select the Settings tab. Press the Advanced button. Select the Monitor tab and choose a refresh frequency from the drop-down list. As with most peripherals, you can change the settings for the mouse. Open the Control panel. If necessary, switch to Category View. Pick the category Printers and Other Hardware and click the mouse icon. Under the Buttons tab, you can change the button configuration to left-handed if you're left-handed, adjust the speed of double-clicking, or turn on Click Lock to lock a mouse or trackball button after a single click. Under the Pointers tab, you can choose a set of mouse pointers or customize one of the pointers in the list. Finally, Under the Pointer Options tab, you can adjust the pointer speed, specify whether the pointer snaps to the default button, and choose options to increase the pointer's visibility. Click on Apply, then OK to confirm your new mouse settings. To add a new printer, open the control panel. If necessary, switch to Category View. Pick the category Printers and Other Hardware. Click the Printers and Faxes icon, and then the Add a Printer link. The Add Printer wizard will then appear. We're going to install a new HB 2000C printer connected to the LPT1 parallel port. First, we decide it will be a local printer. This printer is connected to the parallel port LPT1. Then we select the manufacturer HP, and then the printer type HP 2000C. The default name supplied is OK. This printer will not be shared. We're now going to print a test page. Press the Finish button to start the installation of the printer driver. A few seconds later, this new Printers icon appears in the Printers folder. To set up a printer, open the control panel. If necessary, switch to Category View. Pick the category Printers and Other Hardware and click the Printers and Faxes icon. Right-click on the icon of the printer to set up and choose Properties. The settings are available in several tabs that vary depending on the printer. You can, for example, change the sharing options of the printer or the quality of memory installed in the printer. Once setup is complete, press the OK button to close the dialog box. You can select your default printer from the Printers folder. To get to it, open the control panel. If necessary, switch to Category View. Pick the Printer and Other Hardware category and click the Printers and Faxes icon. Right-click on the icon representing the printer you want to be the default printer and choose the Set as Default Printer command in the context-sensitive menu. Depending on how your initial installation of Windows was done, there's a good chance that not all Windows components will be available. To install a new component, you need to do the following. Click the Start button and select Control Panel. If necessary, switch to Category View. Click the Add or Remove Programs icon. Click Add Remove Windows Components. After a few seconds, the Windows Components wizard will then appear. In the Components list, some checkboxes are selected, some are clear, and some are coloured in grey. When a box is ticked, all the components associated with this option are installed. When a checkbox is clear, no corresponding components are installed. Finally, when a checkbox is coloured in grey, some of the corresponding components are installed, but not all of them. To add or remove a whole component, just select or clear the corresponding checkbox in the Components list. To add or remove only part of a component, click the component, press the Details button, and then select or clear one or more subcomponents. Once you've specified all the components to install or uninstall, press the Next button. And then Finish. It can take from a few seconds to a few minutes depending on the chosen components. Be patient. To install a new program from a CD-ROM, you'll find that most of the time you only need to insert it in the compact disc drive. The installation program will automatically start. If it doesn't, then open the control panel. If necessary, switch to Category View. Click the Add or Remove Programs icon. Click Add New Programs and then CD or floppy. The wizard searches the installation file. If this file can't be found, press Browse and select it manually. Then click the Finish button and follow the instructions given by the installation program. To uninstall a program, click Change or Remove Programs. Click on the program in question and then on the Change Remove button. Windows is able to detect and check plug-and-play devices without restarting the computer. Open the Control Panel. If necessary, switch to Category View. Pick the Performance and Maintenance category and click the System icon. Select the Hardware tab and click the Device Manager button. Right-click the computer icon and select Scan for hardware changes. Now just wait until Windows recognizes the new peripheral. This will normally take about 10 seconds. Use the same technique if you have to disconnect a device, a modem, removable disk, SCSI tape, without restarting your computer. Some events, such as Windows Startup, the display of a dialog box, or the minimizing of a window, can be associated with a WAV digital sound. When these events happen, the corresponding sound is played. The association between a sound and an event is set in the Sounds and Audio Devices Properties dialog box. To get to it, go to the Control Panel. If necessary, switch to Category View. Pick the Sound, Speech and Audio Devices. Click the Sounds and Audio Devices icon and select the Sounds tab. An image of a speaker on the left-hand side of an event shows that it is associated with a sound. To assign a sound to a program event, select the event, then choose a sound in the Sounds drop-down list. If necessary, press the Browse button to get to local and network disks and folders. To delete an association between an event and a sound, select an event and choose None in the Sounds drop-down list. If you wish, you can save the associations by pressing the Save As button. If someone deletes or changes them, you will easily find your associations in the Sound Scheme drop-down list. Once all the associations have been set, press OK to start using them. The Start menu can be customized. In this example, we're going to add Windows Commander in the Programs submenu. Right-click the Start button and choose Properties in the menu that appears. Select Classic Start menu and click the Customize button. Click the Add button and then the Browse button. We're looking for the WinCMD32.exe program situated in the Utility folder on the C drive. As you can see, it would also have been possible to type the full name of the program in the text box. Click once on the Next button, and then choose the folder in which you want to place the program shortcut. Again, click once on the Next button. Finally, type the name for the shortcut, as it will appear in the Start menu. Press Finish. Select the Start menu option and click OK. Press the Start button and notice that Windows Commander has been added to the Accessories submenu. To remove a program from the Start menu, right-click the Start button and then choose Open to get to the Start menu. Open the folder that contains the icon of the program and delete the icon. In this example, we delete the Windows Commander program icon that we installed in the previous section. The default position of the taskbar is in the lower part of the screen. You can move it to the top, to the left, or to the right of the screen. To move the taskbar, you must first unlock it. Right-click to any unused part of the taskbar and uncheck the Lock the Taskbar command. Now, point to any unused part of the taskbar, hold the left mouse button down and move the taskbar towards its new position, for example to the right of the screen. If necessary, you can resize the taskbar. Point to the inside border of the bar. The pointer changes to a double arrow. Hold the left mouse button down and move the mouse to adjust the size. The behavior of the taskbar can also be customized. Right-click the Start button and choose Properties. Select the Taskbar tab. If you select or clear any of the checkboxes, the preview area changes accordingly. Click the OK button to confirm your choice. When you install Windows XP Service Pack 1 or Service Pack 1A, a new command called Set Program Access and Default appears in the Start menu. You can use this command to change certain programs used by default, such as Internet Explorer, Outlook Express, Windows Media Player, Windows Messenger, and/or Microsoft's Java Virtual Machine. Click the Start button, then All Programs, and set Program Access and Default. To use non-Microsoft programs that are installed on your computer as the defaults, select the Non-Microsoft option. This configuration removes access to the specified Microsoft Windows programs. To use programs that are included in Windows as the defaults, select the Microsoft Windows option. To use a combination of non-Microsoft and Microsoft Windows programs, select the Custom option, and then choose the options you want. In Windows XP, the installed fonts are stored in the Fonts folder. To display the list of all installed fonts, click the Start button, select Control Panel. If necessary, switch to Category View. Click the Appearance and Themes icon, then the Fonts icon. To preview a font, double-click its icon. To print this preview, press the Print button. The View menu and the toolbar icons can be used to modify the display of the fonts in the window: large icons, list, similarity, and details. In similarity mode, you can select a font from the drop-down list, and the other fonts will be listed in similarity order. To install a new font, you need to display the Fonts folder. Open the Control Panel. If necessary, switch to Category View. Click the Appearance and Themes icon, then the Fonts icon. Choose the Install New Font command in the File menu. Select the drive and folder that contain the fonts. Click to select the fonts to install, holding the Control key down, and then press the OK button. You can also press the Select All button to install all the fonts. After a few seconds, the installed fonts appear in the Fonts folder and can now be used in any Windows program. To remove a font, just drag its icon from the Fonts folder to the Recycle bin. With the Character Map utility, you can insert characters that aren't available on your keyboard into a document. To start the Character Map utility, click the Start button, select All Programs, Accessories, System Tools, and then Character Map. Choose a font from the font drop-down list, and then double-click the character to select it. If you want to select more than one character, just double-click on each one. Then click on the Copy button. Use the Paste command in the Edit menu to paste your chosen characters into any Windows application. Notice that the keyboard shortcut for each selection is displayed in the right part of the status bar. For example, the copyright sign in Arial can be obtained by holding the Alt key down and pressing successively 0, 1, 6 and 9 on the numeric pad with the number lock on. Simply place the cursor at the point where you want the character inserted in your document and type in the keyboard shortcut. With the private character editor, Windows XP enables you to create up to 6,400 personal characters. In order to get to this tool, choose the Run command in the Start menu. Type EUDCEDIT and then OK. Double-click the code you wish to create. If necessary, you can use an existing font for support. Choose the Copy Character command in the Edit menu. Designate the font and the character to copy. Make the necessary changes using the various tools available in the vertical toolbar, and then choose Save Character in the Edit menu in order to save it on the hard drive. To use a character that's been created in the private character editor, you will need to use the character map. Press the Start button and select All Programs, Accessories, System Tools, and then Character Map. Select the All Fonts Private Characters font from the font drop-down list and double-click the characters you wish to use. Go back to the previous section to see in detail how to use the character map. Fax is not installed by default during Windows setup. To install the fax component, open the Control Panel. Pick the category Add or Remove Programs. Click the Add Remove Windows Components icon. In the Windows Components wizard, select the Fax Services checkbox and then follow the instructions on your screen. If you have a modem, you'll be able to send faxes from any program that has a printing facility. Open the document you wish to fax and then choose the Print command in the File menu. Select the printer Fax and press Print. Type in the details and number of the recipient. If necessary, select a cover page template. Specify the time you wish the fax to be sent. Click the Next, then the Finish button, and the fax is added to the fax waiting list or sent immediately according to the chosen option. WordPad is a small word processor capable of reading documents in the following formats: Word, Write, RTF, Windows Text, MS-DOS Text, and Unicode. The documents can be saved in different formats: RTF, Windows Text, MS-DOS Text, and Unicode. To start WordPad, click the Start button, select All Programs, Accessories, and then WordPad. This word processor works in a very simple and intuitive way. If you wish to know the function of the various toolbar and format controls, move the pointer slowly to display tooltips and information messages in the status bar. Don't forget to use the right-click context-sensitive menus for quick access to formatting commands. You can also find these commands in the Format menu. Although only basic layouts are available, WordPad is still a useful tool that will often come in handy. Paint is a drawing and bitmap touch-up tool. In this section, we're only going to describe its new functions. To start Paint, click the Start button, select All Programs, Accessories, and then Paint. On the left of the window, notice the Pick Color tool that affects the color allocation to each of the mouse buttons. You'll also notice the magnifier tool that can enlarge a picture section up to 8 times. Once you've selected a picture section using the Select tool, you can right-click in the picture to get the most common commands. If you use one of the Set as Background commands in the File menu, you can immediately use the edited picture as the Windows wallpaper. To get to Windows Calculators, click the Start button, select All Programs, Accessories, and then Calculator. In the View menu, you can choose the calculator type, Standard or Scientific. Numbers and operation signs can be entered with the mouse or the keyboard. The Standard calculator is intentionally limited. You can use it for all your basic calculations. Notice all the buttons relating to memory: Clear, Recall, Store, and Add. You can also copy the result of a calculation onto the clipboard with the Copy command in the Edit menu, or with the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+C. Obviously, the contents of the clipboard can then be pasted into any Windows program. The Scientific calculator offers several trigonometric, hyperbolic, and statistic functions and enables you to work in several numeric bases. In particular, it's very simple to convert to the hexadecimal or binary number system. If you frequently use the calculator, assign a shortcut to it on the desktop. The section called Creating Desktop Shortcuts will show you how to do this. Several accessories are intended to help people with, for example, visual or mobility impairments. The magnifier displays an enlarged version of the area the mouse is pointing to. To get to this option, press the Start button, select All Programs, Accessories, Accessibility, and then Magnifier. The Screen Reader utility reads aloud menu commands, dialog box options, and more. To get to this option, press the Start button, select All Programs, Accessories, Accessibility, and then Narrator. The on-screen keyboard provides access to the keyboard keys using the mouse. To get to it, press the Start button, select All Programs, Accessories, Accessibility, and then On-Screen Keyboard. With the View menu and the Views toolbar icon, You can choose how to view the icons in the window: thumbnails, tiles, icons, list, or details. If you choose details, the description of each icon will be clearly displayed. In the other view modes, click any icon once to get the same description in the status bar of Windows Explorer, or in the Details section of My Computer. It's also possible to arrange the icons by drive name, size, type, or date to easily identify them. Note: Film Strip View is available in picture folders. Your pictures appear in a single row of thumbnail images. You can scroll through your pictures using the Previous Image and Next Image buttons. If you click a picture, it's displayed as a larger image above the other pictures. To print the image, save the image to another folder or edit the image, double-click the picture, or use the links on the section File and Folder Tasks. To start the Explorer, right-click the Start button and select Explore. There are two sections to the Explorer window. On the left is the brief list of the desktop elements: My Documents, My Computer, My Network Places, and the Recycle Bin. On the right is a detailed list of the selected element. On the left of certain icons, a little plus sign indicates that the corresponding folder contains one or more subfolders. Click this sign once to display its tree structure. A minus sign indicates a displayed tree structure. Click on it to hide the tree structure. The toolbars are displayed or hidden with the Toolbars command in the View menu. The Up icon displays the elements of the previous folder in the right section without having to use the left section. The Explorer can be used to run numerous tasks, for example, copying, moving and removing folders, dial-up networking, reaching system and network resources, setting shortcuts. These options will be detailed in the following sections. Most of the Windows Explorer functions apply to the items selected in the right-hand section. Similarly, most of My Computer functions apply to the selected items. To select an item, just click on it. To select several consecutive items, click on the first one, hold the Shift key down, and click on the last one. To select several non-consecutive items, hold the Control key down and click each item in turn. If necessary, you can use the scroll bars to display more files to select without losing the current selection. To copy or move one or more files or folders, the simplest way is to use dragging and dropping in the Windows Explorer or in My Computer. First, select the items you want to copy or move. Second, display the destination inside or outside Explorer. You'll need to have the destination showing on screen if you're transferring items outside the Explorer. Third, point to one of the selected items. Hold the left mouse button down and drag the selection towards the destination. You can force a file or a folder to be copied by holding the Control key down while moving the item. You can also force a file or a folder to be moved by holding down the Shift key while you are moving the item. If you hold the right mouse button down instead of the left one during a move, a context-sensitive menu is displayed. Choose the required action by selecting one of the menu commands. There is one sure way to differentiate between a copy and a move. When you're copying, a little plus sign is displayed under the pointer while you move it. Finally, remember that the destination of dragging and dropping is not limited to storage devices. You can, for example, move files towards a printer icon to print them, or towards a fax icon to fax them. As you already know, one right-click of the mouse displays a context-sensitive menu. In Windows Explorer or My Computer, this menu gives access to various commands, depending on the type of item you point to. If you right-click any hard or floppy drive icon, you can start a search, share, or format the drive, or display its properties. If you right-click a folder icon, you can start a search within this folder, delete or rename the folder, display its properties, and so on. If you right-click a file, you can open it and specify which program to use with it, delete it, rename it, or amend its properties. Finally, if you right-click any unused part of the right section, you can choose the type of information displayed, arrange the icons, and display the properties of the listed folder or drive. In another section, you've learnt to copy files using the dragging and dropping technique. This technique is very useful, but you have to display the destination folder or drive. In the Windows Explorer or My Computer, right-click the file you wish to copy. Select Send To in the menu that appears, and then choose the destination. You can add to the destinations displayed in the Send To folder. Choose the Run command in the Start menu. Type Send To and then click the OK button. Notice that this folder contains all the display destinations in the Send To folder. To create a new destination, drag and drop holding the right mouse button down. When you release the button, select Create Shortcuts here. The new item now appears in the Send To menu. Obviously, the destination need not be a folder. It can be a printer, a read or write drive, or any other peripheral that will accept this type of operation. To delete items in the Send To folder, select them and hit the Delete key. If some folders are more important to you than others, you can customize their display in My Computer or Windows Explorer. Select a folder, right-click and choose Properties in the menu that appears. Select the Customize tab in the Font's Properties dialog box. You can then use a template to apply specific features to the folder. Choose a background picture and change the standard folder icon. When Windows is able to identify the program in which a document has been created, you can simply double-click on the document's name in Windows Explorer or in My Computer to open it. Here, for example, we open a Paint document by double-clicking its icon. If the document is not linked to any program, a message indicates that Windows doesn't know what program to use to read this file. Choose the Select the Program from a List option and click the OK button. The Open With dialog box is displayed. Choose the program in which to open the document. Here, for example, we link the PAS extension files to the Notepad. If you select the Always use the selected program to open this kind of file checkbox, Windows will use the chosen program for all the files of this type. Every file has 3 attributes that you can modify. Display any file in Windows Explorer or in My Computer. Right-click and select Properties. The lower part of the dialog box contains the file attributes. Read Only means that the file cannot be changed or accidentally deleted. Hidden indicates that the file will not be displayed when its folder is opened. Archive indicates if the file has been modified since it was backed up last. To format a floppy disk, insert the disk into the drive, right-click the drive's name in the left section of Windows Explorer or My Computer, and then choose Format from the list. Select the disk capacity. If you wish, you can give a name to the formatted disk using the Volume Label field. Select the Quick Format checkbox to remove all the files from the disk. Clear this checkbox to perform a complete format, and also scan the disk for bad sectors. Then press the Start button and formatting begins. Remember that you can run other programs during formatting. To copy a disk, right-click the drive's name in the left section of the Windows Explorer or of My Computer, and then choose Copy Disk in the context-sensitive menu. Select where you want to copy from and to, then press the Start button. Remember that you can use other programs during the copying process. To start the defragmenter, right-click the disk icon in Windows Explorer or in My Computer and choose Properties in the context-sensitive menu. Select the Tools tab and click the Defragment Now button. Select the disk you want to defragment and click on the Defragment button. The longer you wait to defragment your disk, the more time the defragmentation process will take. If you use your computer for performing tasks that do not involve installing and removing lots of programs or data, then a monthly defragmentation should be sufficient. Ideally, you should not run other programs during the defragmentation process. Although it's in constant use, the hard drive is a very fragile instrument. As you use it, technical faults may occur, some being more serious than others: lost or deteriorated sections, mixed up files, corruption of the system area. To detect and repair these faults, Windows provides a Check Disk tool. To run this program, right-click on the hard drive icon you want to check in Windows Explorer or My Computer, and select Properties in the context-sensitive menu. Choose the Tools tab, and then click the Check Now button. If you select the Automatically Fix File System Errors checkbox, ScanDisk will automatically repair the file system errors found during disk checking. If you select the Scan for and Attempt Recovery of Bad Sectors checkbox, ScanDisk will locate bad sectors and repair all readable information. Once your selection is done, press the Start button and disk checking begins. Remember that you can run other programs during the disk scanning process. Windows XP integrates the ability to view and create compressed folders with My Computer and Windows Explorer. To create a compressed folder, open My Computer. Double-click the drive on which you want to create a compressed folder. Right-click and select New, then Compressed Zipped Folder in the menus that appear. The new folder appears with a temporary name selected. Type a name for the new compressed folder and press Enter. You can now drag folders and files to the compressed folder to compress them. To open a compressed folder, double-click on it. You can delete one or more files from a compressed folder. Click on them and press the Delete key. To extract certain files or folders from a compressed folder, select and drag them from the compressed folder to a new location. To extract all files or folders, right-click the compressed folder and then click Extract All. Whatever the size of your hard drive, there's a good chance that one day you'll run out of disk space. If you use the data compressing utility provided with Windows, you can considerably increase its size. Be aware that only NTFS file system hard drives can be compressed. Open My Computer or Windows Explorer. Right-click on the hard drive you want to compress and select Properties in the context-sensitive menu. Select the Compress Drive to save disk space and then press the OK button. Confirm that the compression includes the root and the subfolders. To decompress a compressed NTFS disk, just clear the Compress Drive to save disk space and confirm your choice. Windows XP can use hard drives formatted in FAT, FAT32 and NTFS formats. The latter is by far the most effective and the most secure system. To format a disk with NTFS, open My Computer or Windows Explorer, right-click on the icon of the disk and choose Format in the context-sensitive menu. Select NTFS in the drop-down list File System, and then press the Start button. To convert your disks from FAT or FAT32 to NTFS, open the Command Prompt window by selecting the All Programs Accessories Command Prompt command from the Start menu. Type the following command. After a few seconds, a message tells you that the conversion is complete. Windows XP implements two new features relating to system security. System File Protection ensures files critical to system operation are not replaced by older versions or versions not approved by Microsoft. Applications cannot replace protected files with older or not approved versions. System Restore. If changes to hardware, software or settings have left your computer in an undesirable state, you can use the System Restore feature to undo the changes made to your computer. Click Start then All Programs, Accessories, System Tools, and System Restore. You can create a restore point or restore your computer to an earlier time with a single click. With scheduled tasks, one or more tasks can be run at regular intervals in order to optimize your computer, to retrieve your email, or to remind you of the day's meetings and appointments. To schedule tasks, press the Start button, select All Programs, Accessories, System Tools, and then Schedule Tasks. Double-click the Add Scheduled Task icon in order to create a new task, and let the wizard guide you through the process. In this example, we're going to run the Disk Cleanup program every week on Mondays at 1700 hours. Shared disks and folders are identified with a special icon. This example illustrates the two types of resources you can have in a network. The local floppy disk A, the local disks E and G, and the CD-ROM drive F are not shared. The local disk C is shared. It can be reached by other computers in the network. Notice the hand that symbolizes that the resource is shared. The folder Shared Documents can be reached with both network users and other users of this computer. Notice the hand that symbolizes that the resource is shared. To set up a shared folder, open My Computer or Windows Explorer. Point to the folder and right-click on it. Select Sharing and Security. Select the Share this folder on the network checkbox. Enter a name for the shared folder, and select the Allow Network Users to Change My Files if you want other users to change the files in the shared folder. Press the OK button. This folder can now be reached by the other members of the network. To stop sharing a folder, follow the same procedure but clear the checkbox Share this folder on the network in the Properties dialog box. To set up a shared printer, pick the Printers and Other Hardware category and click the Printers and Faxes icon in the control panel. Right-click the printer to share and select Sharing. Choose Share this printer, give a name to the printer, and press the OK button. Other members of the network can now use the printer as long as they install the driver that corresponds with the Add Printer wizard. To stop sharing a printer, follow the same procedure but select Do not share this printer in the Properties dialog box. To surf the web, you need to set up the connection with your service provider. Press the Start button and select Connect to. This command displays the existing network connections. Click the Create a New Connection option. Choose Connect to the Internet. Set up My Connection manually. And connect using a dial-up modem. Type in the name of your ISP, the phone number of your service provider, your username and your password. You are now ready to connect to the web by just opening the link that you have set up in the Start menu. To start Internet Explorer, click the Start button and select Internet Explorer. After a few seconds, you're connected to the web. The first page you see is called the Home page. Refer to the next section to find out how to change this page. The web follows the hypertext principle. If you move the mouse pointer on the displayed page, you'll see that it changes shape on certain text or graphic elements. Click to display the corresponding web page. Each click can trigger the display of a page from the same site or from thousands of miles away. To find information on a particular subject, you can use a web search engine. Check the Searching the Web section to learn about this subject. Internet Explorer 6 implements a media bar with which you can play personal or internet music, video, or multimedia files while you use your computer. To activate the media bar, click the Media button. With the link More Media, you can play preset music and videos, sorted by categories. The link Radio Guide gives access to preset web radio stations. To listen to one of them, just click the corresponding link. Choose the Internet Options command in the Tools menu. The home page address is displayed in the Address text box under the General tab. The default home page is MSN, the Microsoft Internet Service, but you can choose another page on the web or on your hard drive if you wish. In this example, we type in the address of Yahoo UK, www.yahoo.com. This page will now be displayed each time you start Internet Explorer. In this second example, we type in the address of a local page that was created with a basic word processor. This page contains a group of links that point towards search sites. It'll be displayed each time you start Internet Explorer. Note the Home button in the toolbar. Click on it to go back to the home page display at any time. The web is so vast that you could easily get lost. If efficiency is what you're after, you should decide on a search engine. You can type its address in the Address text box, or press the Search button in order to get to the Microsoft Search page. Type a word in the text box and press the Search button. A few seconds later, the left section of Internet Explorer displays several hypertext links related to the selected subject. All you need to do now is to click on one of these links to display the corresponding web page. During your travels on the web, you'll find links that don't relate to other web pages. Usually these are self-extracting archives or compressed files. When you click on such a link, you must choose the folder to use to store this file. After it's been completely downloaded, you'll be able to run it if it happens to be an executable file. If it's a compressed file, you can open it to visualize its content or to expand it. Be careful running programs off the web. Remember, they may contain viruses. Right-click any unused part of the desktop and select Properties in the menu that appears. Select the Desktop tab in the Display Properties dialog box. Press the Customize Desktop button. Select the Web tab. Click the New button to add a new item to your active desktop, and then press the Visit Gallery button to visit Microsoft's active desktop gallery. A few seconds later, a web page gives access to a number of items classified by category. To subscribe to the selected channel, press the Add to Active Desktop button. Downloading a channel may take from a few seconds to several minutes. After you've downloaded a channel onto your active desktop, you'll be able to view its contents offline. This channel will automatically update at regular intervals. If you wish, you can change the update frequency. Right-click any unused part of your desktop and select Properties from the menu that appears. Select the Desktop tab in the Display Properties dialog box. Press the Customize Desktop button and select the Web tab. The channels that are displayed on your desktop appear in the list. To set up one of them, select it and press the Properties button. The update frequency can be set up under the Schedule tab. If you download numerous channels, you'll soon run out of space on your desktop. In this section, we're going to see how to temporarily deactivate and how to permanently remove a channel. Right-click any unused part of your desktop and select Properties from the menu that appears. Select the Desktop tab in the Display Properties dialog box. Press the Customize Desktop button and select the Web tab. To temporarily deactivate a channel, clear the checkbox in front of it. To permanently remove a channel, select it and press the Delete button. The deletion will only take place after you've pressed the OK button. To get to your email inbox, you must set certain criteria. In Outlook Express, choose the Accounts command in the Tools menu. Press the Add button and select Mail. Specify your full name, your email address, the name of the mail servers, your message account username and password. You've now completed setting up your message account. You can now send and receive messages. With Outlook Express, you can access an email message account in order to send and receive electronic mail. To start this program, click the Launch Outlook Express button in the Quick Launch toolbar. To compose a new message, press the New Mail button. Type in the email address of the recipient in the To box, the subject of the message in the Subject box, the message in the lower section. Press the Send button to place the message in the Out box. If necessary, you can compose one or more messages offline. To send your messages, press the Send Receive button. After a few seconds, the messages that were waiting to be sent have been sent, and if there were any messages waiting to be received, then they will appear in the inbox. To view incoming messages, click the Inbox icon and then the message header in the upper right section. The content of the selected message is displayed in the lower right section. To get to newsgroups, you must set certain criteria. In Outlook Express, choose the Accounts command in the Tools menu. Press the Add button and select News. Specify your full name, your email address, the address of the news server. Now that you've set up your news account, you can subscribe to groups you're interested in, read and send messages. News groups are themed discussion groups open to everyone. To discuss a subject you're interested in, you can use the Outlook Express Newsgroups function. Click the Launch Outlook Express icon in the Quick Launch toolbar. Press the Newsgroups button. A list of newsgroups will be displayed. Type the first letters of the subject you're interested in, and then select one of the groups in the list. Press the Subscribe button and then the OK button. A few seconds later, the group appears in the upper left section of the window. Double-click it to download the headers of the messages it contains. To display the contents of a message, just click its header. The replies to a message are also shown next to it. You can reply to a message by pressing the Reply Group button. If you wish to reply privately to its sender, press the Reply button. To start Windows Messenger, double-click the Windows Messenger icon in the System tray. To add a contact to your list, click the Add button and follow the instructions in the Add a Contact wizard. To send an instant message, double-click the name of the person you want to contact to open the instant message window. MSN Explorer is an all-in-one software program that makes it easy to get more from the web. To open MSN Explorer, click Start, select All Programs, then MSN Explorer. MSN Explorer will give you one-click access to your favorite web features. You can read your email, talk to your online buddies, access to online communities and live chat, get the latest information about managing your finances, do your shopping, enjoy online music and video, and explore the web. Nowadays, every computer connected to the Internet must be wary of viruses. If an antivirus is not installed on your computer, you can use an online antivirus. Connect to the www.pandasoftware.com/activescan/com/website. click the Next button. Enter your email address and click the Send button. On the right-hand side of the window, enable or disable any of the scan options. If the Disinfect Automatically box is checked, the antivirus will disinfect any virus it detects during the scan. If it's not checked, the antivirus will only inform you of the presence of a virus, but will not take any action. Check the Scan Compressed Files option to scan compressed files and their content. Check the Scan Email Files option to scan the contents of your email. Check the Detect Unknown Viruses option to detect viruses previously unknown using a heuristic method. Check the Neutralize Trojans option to delete programs known as Trojans. Once the scan options are set, you just have to click on the items to be scanned and to wait until Panda ActiveScan has finished its work. Viruses and Trojans are not the only threats to your computer. Each time you make a connection to the Internet, you can be the target of pirate attacks. To avoid these intrusions, it's essential to protect your computer using the Windows XP firewall. Proceed as follows. 1. Click the Start button, then Connect to and show all connections. 2. Click the dial-up, LAN or high-speed Internet connection that you want to protect. 3. Under Network Tasks, click Change Settings of this connection. 4. Select the Advanced tab, then under Internet Connection Firewall, select the Protect My Computer and Network checkbox. If an antivirus and a firewall are installed in your computer, you certainly feel safe. To consolidate this, Symantec allows you to test the degree of protection on your computer. Connect to the www.symantec.com/securitycheck/website. Then click the Start Security Scan icon. Be patient. Security scan may take a few minutes. When the process is complete, a detailed analysis appears on the screen. Click one of the Show Details links to reveal the corresponding risk of exposure. With the sound recorder, you can record sounds in WAV format. To start it, click the Start button, select All Programs, Accessories, Entertainment, and then Sound Recorder. To set the frequency and the conversion quality of samples, choose the Audio Properties command in the Edit menu. Click the Advanced button and select the Performance tab. You have the choice between 3 preset qualities. The highest quality corresponds to a nearly perfect sound, sampling at 44 kHz, 16-bit samples, stereo. The size of the resulting WAV files is large, 172 kilobytes per second. The intermediate quality is acceptable for voice and music. It corresponds to sampling at 22 kHz, 8-bit mono. 1 second takes 22 kilobytes of disk space. Finally, the lower quality can be used for spoken sounds, but not for music. It corresponds to sampling at 11 kHz, 8-bit mono. 1 second would take 11 kilobytes of storage. Once you've selected the required sample rate conversion quality, click the Record button to start recording, and then the Stop button to stop recording. You can use the commands in the Effects menu to add special effects to the sound. To delete the inevitable noises at the start and at the end of the recording, position the cursor and choose the Delete Before After Current Position commands in the Edit menu. You'll also notice that you can mix the sound in memory with a file, or even insert a WAV file at the position of the cursor. To save a sound in a WAV file, choose the Save command in the File menu. The volume and the balance can be adjusted if you right-click the speaker in the system tray and select Open Volume Control. The volume control dialog box will vary, depending on the type of audio card you have. Select the Properties command in the Options menu to choose the type and tick the volume controls to be displayed. The easiest way to install a vocal annotation into a Windows document is to record it first in the sound recorder and then use the copy and paste method to place it in the document. Click the Start button, then select All Programs, Accessories, Entertainment, and sound recorder. Record the sound or load it from an existing WAV file. Choose the copy command in the Edit menu. Switch over to the destination document and choose the Paste command in the Edit menu. Only some applications support the pasting of WAV files. To get pictures from a scanner or digital camera, open the Control panel, pick the Printers and Other Hardware category, and click the Scanners and Cameras icon. Click the icon of your digital device and click the Get Pictures link. This action launches the Scanner and Camera wizard. Click the Preview button. After a few seconds, a preview appears. Select the type of picture you want to scan and press Next. Give a name to the picture, select its type and location, and press the Next button. Select I'm finished working with these pictures. Click the Next button and the Finish button. The image appears in the My Pictures folder. You can use Windows Media Player to organize media files on your computer and to organize links to media contents on the Internet. To add files to your media library, you can double-click a media file, drag and drop a file from Windows Explorer into Media Library, or use the command Open or Open URL in the File menu. To search your computer for music and video files, use the Search Computer for Media in the Tools menu. Select the drive you want to search for media, and then click the Search button. When you put a CD in your CD drive, Windows Media Player begins playing it automatically. If information about the CD is available on the Internet, the name of the artist and the track titles appear on the CD audio feature. When you put a DVD in your DVD drive, it's automatically displayed in Windows Media Player. Use the Radio Tuner feature to find radio stations on the Internet. Choose one of the preset stations and wait a few seconds to listen to it. You can apply a skin to the player to change its appearance. Click the Skin Chooser feature, select the skin you want to apply, and then click the Apply Skin button. Windows Media Player 9 series offers more than 120 new features. Let's list the more impressive functions. The new audio and video compression technology is the foundation of this new release of Windows Media. It offers a sound quality 20% better than Windows Media 8 and a video quality improvement between 15 and 50% better than Windows Media 8. Fully compatible with 5.1 audio, Media Player 9 delivers great quality sounds. Take advantage of variable bit rate audio and new compressions that delivers MP3 quality at half the size. New codecs considerably improve audio and video streaming and provide an instant on, always on streaming, eliminating buffering time and reducing the probability of an interruption in play due to network conditions. Minimode provides quick and easy access to the player when it's minimized. You can control the speed of audio or video without changing the pitch and tone. This feature is useful for getting through a long video quickly or enhancing audio comprehension. Premium Services lets you access music and video subscription services from providers such as Cinema Now, Full Audio, and Press Play. DVD playback integrated into Media Player 9 lets you use the great functions of the player with your DVDs. To update Windows Media, simply launch the Check for Player Update in the Help menu. If you'd like to listen to some music when you work, then no problem. Insert an audio CD in your drive. Without doing anything else, Windows identifies the information from the audio CD. It automatically loads the Windows Media Player application. The name of the CD, of the artist, and of each of the tracks are clearly displayed in the Playlist feature. This information is automatically saved on the hard drive. It'll therefore not be necessary to download it again when you next insert the CD in your drive. The buttons of the CD player program are very much like those of a normal CD player: pause, stop, previous track, next track, mute, and volume. Copying music from CDs to your hard disk is easy. Insert an audio CD in your drive. Select the Copy from CD feature. All tracks are selected if you've not previously copied tracks from the CD. If there are any tracks that you don't want to copy, clear the checkbox next to that track. Click the Copy Music button. All selected tracks are copied to the Archive folder and are listed in the Media library. With Windows XP, it's easy to copy files and folders to a CD. Insert a blank writable CD into the CD recorder. Open My Computer or Windows Explorer. Select the files or folders you want to copy to the CD. Under File and Folder tasks, click Copy this folder. In the Copy Items dialog box, select the CD recording drive and click the Copy button. In My Computer or Windows Explorer, right-click the CD recording drive and select Write these files to CD. This action will run the CD writing wizard. Follow the instructions in the wizard to start writing to the CD. You can use Microsoft Windows Movie Maker to capture audio and video material, which you can edit and arrange to create movies. To start Windows Movie Maker, click the Start button, then All Programs, Accessories, and Windows Movie Maker. To transfer your existing movies from your video camera to your computer, click the Record button. Select the type of recording and the quality, then click the Record button. Click the Stop button to stop recording. Give a name to the new video and click the Save button to save it on your hard disk. To start editing a video clip, simply drag it from Windows Explorer to the Movie Maker windows. Trimming a clip. On the Clip menu, click Add to Storyboard Timeline. Click the Play button. When the video reaches the point where you want to begin trimming, click the Set Start Trim Point command on the Clip menu. When the video reaches the point where you want to end trimming, click the Set End Trim Point on the Clip menu. Splitting a clip. Click the video clip you want to split. Position the seek bar at the point you want to split it. Click the Split command on the Clip menu. The first portion of the clip keeps the original name. The other portion of the clip has the original name plus a number. Creating a transition. Drag two clips from the clip area to the workspace. Activate the timeline view. Click the second of the two clips you want to create a transition between. Drag the second clip to the left so that it overlaps the first clip. The shaded area corresponds to the transition. Working with audio. To insert an audio clip, such as music or narration, into your project, drag the sound file from Windows Explorer to the audio track. You can also click the Record Narration button to record the audio track while viewing the video. You can download a free copy of Windows Movie Maker 2 from the Microsoft website. To use this software, your computer must be equipped with Windows XP or Windows XP SP1 Home Edition or Professional, a 600 MHz or higher processor, 128 MB of RAM or higher, 2 GB of available hard disk space. To start Windows Movie Maker 2, click the Start button, then All Programs, Accessories, Entertainment, and Windows Movie Maker. Many features are common with the previous version of Movie Maker, so we'll only focus on the new features. On the top left side of the window, the Movie Tasks pane lists the common tasks that you may need to perform when making a movie. According to the point you're at in the process of making a movie, a single click lets you capture a video, access video effects or transitions, create titles, save your final movie, or send it as an attachment in an email message, etc. In this example, we'll work with an existing project. To add a video effect to your movie, click the View Video Effects link in the Movie Tasks pane. Drag an effect from the Video Effects pane and drop it on a video clip on the timeline. To add a video transition between two clips, Click the View Video Transitions link in the Movie Tasks pane. Drag a transition from the Video Transitions pane and drop it between two video clips on the timeline. To add a title or credit to your movie, click the Make Titles or Credits link in the Movie Tasks pane. Choose one of the proposed actions. Enter the text you want, then click Done to add the title to the movie. If necessary, you can define an animation for the title or change the text font and color by clicking the corresponding links. When the video looks just as you want it, click one of the links under Finish Movie to save it on your computer, to burn it to a CD, to send it by email or to the web, or to save it on a DV camera.